Howdy folks, how you guys doing today? Today we're going to talk about the Moondrop Chew. So this is a $20 headphone with a little bit of hype. It has a 10mm driver. I think it's a CNT carbon nanotube, could be wrong, doesn't matter that much. It's 20 bucks. I actually thought it was a smaller driver based on the shell size, which is very, very small. You might notice in here, right here, we have a damper on the little front bore on these guys. And the reason for that is because in the stock format, these guys are way, way too bass light. I'll just say that right off. I think everybody knows. You want to listen to any kind of like EDM, anything with like some good bump and bass in it, these ain't going to do it out of the box at all. So I did add that damper in there. This review is not going to be with a damper. I just left it on there, whatever. And then they got the Moondrop spring tips right here, which I actually can't stand. The reason for that is because, let's see if I can do this. They are just so incredibly flexible, like thin, that if I stick these in my ear, they do not seal well. That just doesn't give enough pushback to get me an air seal on these guys. So fail. I know they got some hype, but they don't work for me. So I'm actually using the Tantrum Tanya tips on these guys, which for whatever reasons work really well for me. Let's see. There's the bore, front vent with the little damper on there, back vent, there's a little pinhole, metal build quality. For 20 bucks, honestly, I think they're quite nice. Non-removable cable, as everyone knows. Cable is decent quality. It's actually really, really similar to the Tanya cable for whatever reason. And yeah, so pretty cool. Can't complain. Well, I could about the bass, but I can't complain about basically the 20 bucks build quality. I like them. They're cool and they fit really well. I think probably most folks would be able to fit them easily. All right, let's move on. Bam. Got a lot of stuff on my screen there. I think I'll just do we'll do a measurement on video if I could pull this off. So let me just do this. Let's see. Get the headphones in here. Hang on. Get all this stuff out of the way. We'll do the let's see. I think I'm going to do the Moondrop tip. Well, nah, actually I'm going to use the Tanya tips. Yeah, just cause. So let me plug this into my rig here. So that's the Burson with a Sparkos op amp. So, all right, let's see here. Okay, here's our coupler. And let's see, we're going to do let's see. Left. Pop that in the coupler. Now, here's something that I know now that I didn't know before. When I measure with these couplers, basically you have to align for the 8K peak. It's not like optional. The graph won't look right and won't have certain attributes that everyone's used to from Clinical stuff. So I'm not entirely sure how deep this goes in, but what I figured out is I got to actually hold this thing vertically to be able to get it to graph right. So let's go back over here. Let's see, we're gonna go to our Room EQ Wizard. Hopefully I can do this quickly and efficiently. We're gonna, let's see, let me turn my volume down. Jesus, blast everything out. And go. So, got a little graph going on there. This is actually with the damper on there, so I figure people can look up the graph on other sites to find out what it looks like without the mod. I'm just not taking it off at the moment. It's not super important. Let me turn off a bunch of these here graphs. All right, that's what we just captured. So Moondrop Chew. Cool, just wanted to show folks that. And let's see, did we get the 8K peak? Ha, look at that. We nailed the 8K peak there. So right over here, that is on the money. So that is actually, I believe, that should be a good graph for this IEM. All right, cool. Got that done. Let's just move on. Let's see, anything about the build quality? Nah, 20 bucks, like we really can't be picky. It's good enough. All right, so test tracks that I've used for this are up in here. You can, I don't know, scan through that. So we got stuff like blues, EDM, vaporwave, metal, R&B, EDM, like a little bit of like acoustic stuff. It's all on that list there. And so basically Chew's big problem in the world is it doesn't have enough bass to do most genres right. And I guess I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the graph, well, my chart. We got the Chew right here. I'll just, well, I'll center this here. All right, so exceptional factor on Chew is going to be a 7. And you might say, well, you said it didn't have enough bass, and it doesn't. For me, at $20, I'm pretty happy to put a damper on this guy and fix the bass somewhat, although I would say that the even with a damper, the bass doesn't resonate quite as deeply and as nicely as I'd want. But for $20, we won't be too picky. Any case. So exceptional factor on Chew is going to be a 7 out of 10, and that's mostly due to the really quite nice mids and the treble detail, and also the staging being nice and wide and relatively 3D for $20. I am not going to complain. So we'll give it a 7 out of 10 in exceptional factor. Accuracy, we're going to give a 7 out of 10, and it would have been much better had it had more bass. Better bass shelf. Wideness, we're going to give an 8 out of 10, which for this price, I kind of like battled that around, but man, you hit a good wide track and this thing just kills it. It just kills it. So 8 out of 10, really, really awesome for $20. 3D, slightly diminished because it has a little extra treble details, but 7.5 out of 10, fantastic for $20 again. And I like it, actually, a lot. Imaging, we're going to give an 8 out of 10, and yeah, man, the treble on this is kind of like right in the pocket. I don't think it's pushed too hard. I would say, though, that it needs a little extra bass to balance, but imaging is really good. 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, $20, that's fantastic. Volume scaling, we're going to give a 7 out of 10, and like honestly, I'm being a little nice with that. I'm going to put that back down to a 6, and here's why. I've been like listening to it with the damper, and that does help volume scaling. It brings the bass up quicker so that you don't turn up as much to get the bass slam as you need, and then the treble falls into the pocket better. So 6 out of 10 volume scaling would be better with the damper. Bass, we're going to give a 5 out of 10. It's just not good enough. No. Not good enough. No. Like, for instance, Tanya pretty much destroys it, and Tanya's not wonderful. So, yeah, I mean, not wonderful in the, the larger aspect. All right, mids, we're going to give a 7.5 out of 10. And with a damper, the mids are actually going to be like more like an 8 or an 8.5. But without, it comes across a little thin. We need that little low end pickup on the, it sort of fills out the mids to my ears. So 7.5 out of 10. Treble details, we're going to give an 8 out of 10. Fantastic, man. Really good for the price, $20. I battled that around a little bit, but like it could use some extra refinement. Obviously for $20 it's not super refined, but up into the 10 areas, but it's very good for the price. Resolving resolution, we'll give a 7.5. A little extra treble, pretty decent driver. It's pretty good, 7.5 out of 10. No pressure buildup. Isolation, like a 3 for me. Might be better for some folks. It's not like the biggest, it doesn't fill your ear entirely. Binaural is actually really good on these, 4 out of 10. Generally binaural doesn't need extra bass to do its trick, and this did really well, really, really well. So $20, am I going to recommend this? Oh, heck. Not for myself. Like I said, I got to modify it for the bass, but $20, I think people would probably enjoy the amount of details and the mojo, the staging. Probably not going to find a lot of headsets that for $20 can do this and have most of it in the pocket as well as it does. So on my chart here, if we just look around, let's see this Moondrop Chew at the top there. We'll scan up. Let's see. So it doesn't, make it into the top anything, but what it does is, let's see, what's around it. So we got the FIO FH3, Fearless S8F, slightly above it. The Auto L9 actually is below it, and that's mostly due to my preferences, not technicalities or whatever people would call that. And does it beat the Blonde? Yeah, kind of. I do think the mids are a little better on the Chew compared to the Blonde. Just overall a little bit better package. Blonde just beats it to death in bass, of course. But so basically, oh, can't really see that too well. Here, let me throw a paper on there. So, yeah, Chew's going to get a recommendation. It's really not, for me, I wouldn't mind modifying this, but I think for some folks that are not super bass people, this will be a good set. And if they are bass people, then, you know, stick some, what do you call it, pour tape, like a Band-Aid or something over that front vent there and see if that helps. If not, well, I told you the story, so, you know, good luck. But nice IEM, and I appreciate the fact that it's $20. And compared to the Quarks, I think these are better than the Quarks. So there's that. Right on. I will talk to you on the next one, folks.